what would your advice be for someone in that situation where they're sort of looking at the cost and then wondering where it will come from, where the benefits are going to come from, to give them the confidence to move it forward?
I mean, I couldn't be a bigger advocate for just investing up front for what's going to save you in the long term, really. And yeah, as I say, I recognize, I remember when Mark first brought the idea to the table to kind of engage a financial planner, and I thought, what's the point of doing this? We can emulate our parents. They've done some, taken on some investment properties, but the thing is, everybody's circumstances are different. And, and financial planners are quick tools to help you to model out what your own future looks like. And you don't know it until you see it on paper. And so, whilst, $5,000 might seem like a lot of money up front, it as I mentioned, it stopped us from making a lot of mistakes. We would have moved faster than we did. I think we would have tried to buy a second property because our first property did quite well because of the timing that we bought it. But the thing is, we recognize also how we're able to stretch ourselves so we don't go bankrupt when we have our first child. So it's just having that, investing in knowledge is really the key. And I learned so much during that process as well. I just learned so many things, and it just opened my eyes to property and its importance and how to invest in a way that's going to set us up for I guess, a future that's sustainable long term.
Yeah, I think people sometimes don't always have front of mind the fact that like going through a financial planning process is essentially like a self-training program, that you're upskilling yourself, that helps you create skills that you can use for your whole life beyond just whatever the financial plan is. But your point, I think, on that, making sure that you don't get overextended, that is a really important one, because people, you want to do things and something can make sense, or it seem to make sense in the moment. But if you're thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead, then sometimes it doesn't always fit. So
that's right. And you start throwing in, certain things. So, and lifestyle's an important one as well. You've got to sort of recognize what sacrifices you're willing to make to your lifestyle. Are you willing to, make certain changes to your lifestyle in order to service the loans, for example, or your mortgages? Because, we had to change some of the ways that we ran our lives. And, obviously we're in our mid-30s now, but we met a lot younger than that. And so just thinking through that and what you're willing to forego as well versus not, because it's also important to live life. You could die tomorrow. You want to be able to live a lifestyle and not be so scrimped and saving so much that you feel sort of resentful of that either. So it's sort of just working out what your everyday should look like whilst you're also planning for the future too.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's all about priorities, and good money management is just good prioritization. You've got your savings targets, you've got your lifestyle, you've got the private school, you've got time out of the workforce, mat leave, career, how far you push in your career and what that means for your income versus how much time you give yourself for things outside of your career. And the reason that there's no one set of steps that works for everybody is because everyone's priorities are different. It's different for you.
Exactly.
Like it's different for everybody else, and that's what the process sort of unpacks. But you don't know until you see it there and know what the considerations are. I think
even just stuff like what car you're going to drive. Some couples can really disagree on that. Like, but it can be quite an impactful decision. You're happy to drive around in a sort of secondhand car, or does somebody have a priority that they really want to be driving a really nice car? It's stuff like that that you don't necessarily think is going to have a big impact, but it can when you model it out. And that's essentially a